HHDG.
Peace, y'all. We on another episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. And shout out to everyone tuning in right now in our YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook group, HHDG Media, Hip Hop Discussion Group. You can check out our website, as you can see on the bottom banner, hhdgmedia.com. Put up music, events, mixtapes done by our very own HHDG Media Inc. company owner, friend, family, Rock Beta KB. And we also have merch up there, t-shirts, hoodies. Definitely go check that out. For tonight, we have a very talented brother repping same borough I'm from, Staten Island. Definitely presents the ill imagery flawlessly through his lyrics, and I've discovered him through someone that I grew up on, NY Oil, through he had a PEMG, sorry, and that's how I discovered SickInTheHead back when he was, a youngin', and definitely caught my attention with how would I say this? There's veterans out there that cannot put the words together, have the bars come the way they do, and then still paint that imagery and just be able to freestyle like second nature. He had that package already, at a young age. So we definitely, talk about his influences and how that pen game stays sharp to this day. And we finally dropped that debut album, Smoking Boots, last month on May 24th. I'll need to definitely go check that out. We're going to talk about that tonight. And definitely talking about one thing I am kind of, and that's being an introvert, and how that creativity comes from, sometimes just being in solitude blossoms to so much more. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce SickInTheHead.
Peace. What up, y'all?
Peace. How you doing, man?
Boss? I'm good, man. How you?
Doing good.
Good, no doubt.
Man, it feels like every time you drop a video, I'm always thinking of them early PEMG videos that I've seen. And
Word.
the whole cipher and everything that you always stuck out, at a early age, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man, definitely. Those are some really good days. I got a lot of good memories of that period of time.
That's dope, man. So, before we, jump right into the album Smoking Boots, just let the people know a little bit about, how you came to MCing.
All right, copy. So, as y'all can see on the screen, hopefully, SickInTheHead, SITH, SITH, SickInTheHead. Yeah, man, I've been rhyming since about like 2000 and really I started writing in 2006, but people started getting to know me. I did my first music video with PEMG in 2010, man. And yeah, like it's been a very long journey. But I stayed dedicated to the craft because every time I try to leave it alone, every time I try to, man, I'm done with this. I can never really be done with it. It's just always calling. It's always calling. Word.
That's dope, man. So pen game, did you grow up reading a lot? Books, comics?
You know what? I did, but I didn't at the same time. I didn't really read comic books like that. I did play a lot of video games growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, like, it's funny. I didn't really I didn't read a whole lot of books, but I did read a lot. Like it was just different, whatever I could find articles, especially a lot of times when I would write rhymes and I'm referencing something, but I'm not too sure
Yeah.
about it. I'll research it. I'll look it up. I'll make sure that it makes sense. Things of that nature. But yeah, I would say like a lot of like video games and like you were saying earlier, being in solitude, spending enough time in there, you know, and boredom and whatever else you got going on, it just spawns certain types of creativity.
Got you. Yeah. Between me growing up, you know, comic books, magazines, you know, video game magazines mainly, and just what was it? It was like audiophile type of magazines on like stereo equipment and stuff like that. That you know, that stuff always intrigued me. So,
Word. I got a homeboy that's like that. Very much into the quality of the audio, you know, picking up on things that normal listeners ain't really going to care about, stuff like that. But yeah, it's dope.
Got you. What was when you first started? What did you normally write about?
You know, it was funny. I think so. My first rhyme, I remember I wrote it on the stoop in front of my crib and whatnot, and I was listening to a lot of One Below at that time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with One Below. Sonogram, I love that album. That's one of my favorite albums. That's one of my like
classic right there.
If I was to point to albums that influenced me as an MC, that's definitely one of them. But I remember around that time, I want to say I was kind of like I was just emulating what I was hearing.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, that's something that a tip that I would give to like any MC or and if you do martial arts and you know you study the greats, you study the people that you know you like, and you try to emulate what they do up until you kind of find your own flow and format. I wasn't really going through much at the time because I was like 13, 14. I mean, I was going through things, but you know, but I was just writing about my environment. I was writing about what was going on around me, out the window, at school, outside of school, you know, whatever was happening at that time. Oh, but that was one thing I forgot. When I first started rapping, I was doing a lot of like the typical like gun raps and drugs and rapping about shit that I had no experience in. So one day it just hit me. I was like, you know what? I don't think I could do this for much longer because eventually this is going to bring something that I might not be prepared for. So I was like, you know what? I need to find some. I didn't know what I was doing fully at the time, but I just knew I wanted to find my own sound. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up listening to I was listening to a lot at the time, but I remember it was a group called Sign. They worked with a producer called Nujabes. If any Adult Swim fans out there, Cartoon Network, what's that cartoon? Samurai Champloo, like the intro, that all of that. That's you know that's all connected right there.
Yeah.
But listening to that group and listening to guys like Nas and a few other people, it kind of taught me like, yo, there's a whole lane for myself where I could explore and not have to, you know, rap about. I could rap about my life. I could rap about things that interest me, basically.
Dope. Shout out Substantial. He worked with him a lot, and I actually got the honor of interviewing him not too long ago this year.
Fire. Shout out to Substantial. Oh man, yeah. Shout out to him.
Dope, man.
Rest in peace to Nujabes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. Continuously influencing right now as we speak.
Thanks.
And so like I was saying, we both from the same borough. You know, I got family in different parts of Staten Island from where I mainly grew up in West Brighton to Port Richmond, the Harbor, a few people in Park Hill, but not, you know, but those are the main areas. Now you're from New Brighton, now born. You know, I got A few that I can remember off the top of my head that over there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, every hood, you know, still got us, you know, our similarities. So
Absolutely. Yeah, we all got we all got stories that need to be told. Definitely, I talk
right,
about that to people all the time. I'm like, yo, Staten Island. I mean, in more ways than one. I don't want to make it seem like it's just the street side of things that need to be told. But there's literally whole histories out here that people
right,
aren't aware of. It just stops at the Wu, maybe the UMCs a little bit, and other people who had darts of fame. But it's not.
yep.
It's so much.
Awesome
It's so
scene.
much more that
Yeah,
people got to know.
absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that.
Are you
After started seeing more and more of the PEMG
mm-hmm.
videos, you had some freestyles around that time that
Yeah,
you know, y'all definitely need to go check on SoundCloud. Some of them are still up there.
definitely, definitely.
What really got your craft, you know, sharp?
Um, hmm. Well, I would definitely give some credit to NY Oil being a PEMG. I mean, when you in a group with I mean, at different times, sometimes it was like 7 people, sometimes it was 10 people, sometimes it was 13 people. We just went through different periods of, all of us. But basically, you in a group with that many people, um, it's not that much room on the song. So it's pretty much figure out what you need to say in 8 bars instead of 16, and whoever got the strongest one is gonna get on the song.
Hmm.
That having being around that camaraderie and I don't want to say competition because we was never in competition, but just like let me just make sure that I get on this joint. That excitement. Listening to guys like Lupe Fiasco, groups like Little Brother, Most Def. It's so many, so many. So it's a
Yeah.
real long list. But all of these guys, I picked up something from in one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Lupe, especially, I picked up. I would say, like double and triple entendres and stuff like that. Just stuff that just keeps going and going. And I remember listening to songs of his back in the days, and then bars would pop up into my head years later. I would just
Oh,
randomly hear him. I'd be like, "Oh shit!" Now I know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So when I would hear that, I would always want to have that type of influence on people that would listen to my music. Or
man, you speaking of Lupe?
mm-hmm.
I mean that's the dude right there, man. I remember them early First and 15th mixtapes,
Word, yeah, yeah. So do
running
I.
them like crazy, man.
Yeah, I probably I don't know if you came up on him the same way, but it was like probably Kick Push. No, it was I think Touch the Sky with Kanye, but Kick Push was the thing that made me be like, okay, this is different. This is kind of dope. I like this. And then when I went back and listened to it was that. Then I think I heard the first album, The Food and Liquor.
Food and look okay.
And Food and Liquor is incredible. That's one of my favorite albums as well. But when I went backwards and listened to the Fahrenheit mixtapes,
Yeah,
yes, people don't know. People
yeah,
don't know. Yeah, he was saying some things, definitely.
yeah. You definitely gotta check them mixtapes.
Word.
Now, I mean, there's some elite lyricists out there with the double and multiple entendres.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lupe definitely being one of them, and
Absolutely.
I gotta bring up Sky Zoo because
Mm.
I went to an
Skazoo.
interview with him, and
Yes.
he was just breaking it down, and it's just mind blowing how much was is in there, and the effort is not, it's easy for him. It's just
Mm-hmm.
amazing breaking it down.
Yeah, he is one of my favorite Skazoo songs is what is it, Langston's Pen?
Oh,
Yo, he just keeps going and going. It's so much. It's just I know I rhyme the same way with some people, but it's so much shit that he's saying that's flying over my head. But I'm enjoying it because I'm like, yo, it's so much, so dense. It's so much shit to break down, but you could just tell he's enjoying what he's doing. And
Absolutely,
that's the way he always approaches his songs.
Yeah. Yep. And the crazy thing is, you know, when you listen to lyricists like that as well as yourself, sometimes I just gotta stop what I'm doing and just sit back and just take it all in, because you're not. I'm saying it, and I always say it. You're not gonna get everything in that first listen, and then when you sit back and then you listen again, you know, sometimes I don't write the entire lyrics, but there's certain things that catch me and I write it down and I just think about it, I'm like, damn, I can't do that.
That's ill. That's ill. That's ill. That's crazy.
So when it comes to you writing, because you definitely excelling at that as well.
Thank you.
Do you ever sit back and read it and like, damn,
hell
cool.
Yeah. I mean, I do that for myself, but it's also like, you know, I don't know, people may think that we don't do the same thing as rappers. It's like, yo, just like the same way as a ball mine might fly over your head, or you just sit back and think about it. I'm a listener too. I'm a fan too. So the rappers that I came up off of, they made me do the same thing. They wrote things that, you know, damn, I wish I wrote that. Or I wish I went through an experience like that so I could write something, you know, something that flowed to the air, so, you know, the way that they did it. Yeah, man. Definitely.
Now, throughout the years, which is one of your favorite artists from Staten Island that you worked with?
That I've worked with, I mean, there's a few. There's a lot that I'm long overdue on working with, but Squeegee O definitely. Jamil.
Definitely.
I know B More claiming him, but he's from Staten Island. Shout out to B More though. Jamil. And While Oil definitely, because we never did too many songs together, but that was always like, I remember back in the days, like an honor for me to do. It's just, you know, to sit there and ching 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 with the sword and all that. That's how I visualize it in my head. So definitely him. Inspected Deck. Shout out to my man Intel. Intel is up there too, because without Intel, I wouldn't even have met Deck. But that was a crazy collab that happened by way of Intel and see Intel. Who else? I know it's other people that I'm forgetting, but I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Right, I'm gonna leave it right there for that.
All right. You know, tell us about that story with Intel and meeting INS.
All right, so one day I'm at the studio with Intel, Dock Street over there. People from Staten Island probably know where that is, or maybe they don't. Anyway, we at the studio one night. One night he was like, no, matter of fact, I'm lying. He said he hit me up and he was like, yo, he said Deck was coming, or somebody. I don't remember what it was. It was. I forgot exactly how it went, but I remember getting there, and you know, Deck finally pulled up, and he was a real chill, regular dude. It was pretty much what I expected him to be, off of things that I heard, other stories of people that you know chopped it up with him and whatnot. And I remember having an ill experience because before that, Deck had shown love to a song that I had made called Black Leopard. Those of y'all go back on my SoundCloud, listen to, back in the days to what he's talking about. Back in them days, that's when Black Leopard came out. That's one of my, I would say, one of my biggest songs that, you know, of that time. But yeah, he showed love to that song and whatnot. And when I met him in the studio, I let him know that I was the same dude from back then. And he just told me a story. He was like, yo, that I used to listen to that song every morning. That was like my theme music. You know, one of the first bars I say, this is ill, not a fire drill, champ iron, gorilla hand slap a lion. He was like, yo, I used to walk around telling my team, like, yo, we got to gorilla slap these niggas. We got to gorilla slap these niggas. So the fact, you know, just hearing that, you know, somebody like him saying that about your bars, it's like,
that's amazing.
It's a super humbling experience. It's like, yo, this is really happening. Okay. No, I was trying to stay chill while I was there, but you know. Shout out to Deck, man. Shout out to Intel. Shout out to Power too. Shout out to Meth Son.
Definitely.
Power.
Since we talking about Power, Intel, we gotta talk about that second generation rule, hereditary joint.
Yeah. Yo, again, I gotta give a shout out to Intel because he put that project together himself. I seen him sit in the studio for like, I don't know, I think it was like 2 years, something like that. Frankensteining some verses, you know, making phone calls, trying to get this one verse, trying to get that, put it on the beat, learning how to engineer and mix while he's in the process of doing it.
Wow.
Yes, and that definitely took a lot of effort, but yeah, I had fun, and I'm glad that I'm a part of history being on that project.
Now I'm gonna jump around. I normally don't do that too much, but it was dope seeing y'all perform at Supply and Demand back in 2021.
Yeah, that was a dope show. Shout out to Peter Rosenberg.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
How was that whole experience? Because you know that the whole event is, you know, that's the way hip hop is. But
that, yo, you're describing it perfectly.
Yeah,
describing it perfectly. That's exactly the way hip hop is. That was one of them shows where it was like, it was dope for me because I mean I got to perform, yeah, but for me it was like I'm thankful for that, but whatever. That just the performances as a whole, the crowd that was in there, it was like back to back fire. Everybody came with their A game. Everybody was spitting. I was seeing rappers that I had only seen on the internet before. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of spitters. But like I said, performing it was definitely fun. I seen a lot of the homies, a lot of people that I just know through moving and grooving, especially being in Brooklyn. Because if you don't know, if you're looking for that type of hip hop, you know, the shit that I do, the shit that we generally rock with, yo, Brooklyn is right now definitely is a big place where you know, they talk about gentrification and all of that, but everybody want that real shit. They still want it. Like, it's still there. people will go out to get it. So yeah, tap in if you ain't know already.
Definitely. Yeah, man. I always miss Bushwick Collective that just went down last weekend because my son's birthdays are June 1st and June 3rd. So
no doubt.
I got to stick with the fam with that. But every time I check them highlights, man, it's always a dope event.
Yeah, man. A lot of them events, I would say most of them that I've been to, you know, out there is generally a good vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's never everybody, ain't nobody on no bullshit. Everybody, you know, they probably high or they just chilling or they just, you know, everybody just want hip hop and just want to lay back and cool out.
That's all it's about. That's one reason why I continue to tell people, you know, there was no issues. You know, I used to say that, like, when people ask me about a show I went to, I'm like, I had a good time and there was no issues. You can't believe everything that you see on TV. You know, it's all mind control right there.
That's a fact. You know, things happen at shows. You know, if you go to enough of them, you might see something, but ain't never been nothing too crazy. And for me, I think it's also like maybe depending on the type of artist that you shows that you go to and where the show happens to be at.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you know, everybody's there most people are there to just enjoy themselves. If there is a problem, it's usually something minuscule that kind of get, you know, curved out the way. It usually just goes depending on the energy. I would say the energy of the crowd, the artist and the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Word.
Yeah. Now, before we get into Smoking Boots, you had some guest features last year. One of them was with the French producer. What's his name? Crown. He was
Yes,
on the
shout out to
Cutthroat
Crown.
joint. How'd you end up linking up with him?
Crown hit me up.
Oh, dope.
I think he hit me up through the Beneath the Underground page. I don't know if you're familiar with that the Instagram page, but you know they post a lot of underground music and whatnot. I thought that was him. I thought it was his page.
Okay.
I didn't know probably until like I think maybe after we finally linked that was the case. But yeah, he just hit me up. He was just like, "Yo." I mean, I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but I'm pretty sure it was just like, "Yo, I think your shit is dope. You want to work? So let's make it happen." That's simple.
Dope. And keeping it international, you also was with trying to remember the other guy's name, Mr. Slims and Dialect.
Yeah, I've never no, I'm bugging. I did work with Mr. Slips, yes, but I shout out to Nelson Dialect. They have an album. I forget the exact name, but we have a song on there. What is it? I forget the name right now. But if you look up "Sick in the Head," Nelson Dialect, Mr. Slips, you will find that song. Yeah, my man Dialect. I've known
The
him.
Revealer. That's what it is. The Revealer.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a dope verse right there. Definitely, I should go check that out. But yeah, Dialect. I've been rocking with him since like I don't even know 20. I feel like 2013. Might even be before that. Maybe 2011, 2012, something. But yeah, we've been rocking for a while.
Dope. And then you took it back home and you rocked with Squeegee O and Jamil on that ferry boat joint.
Yeah,
Kids.
shout out, yo, go cop that album. Harbor Kids out now. Shout out to Jamil Honesty. Shout out to Squeegee O. Shout out to the whole Harbor and the whole Staten Island. Yeah, that was the honor. I loved it. To me, you know, they're definitely two people from the island that I would love to present to people besides myself in terms of just artistry out here. You want to hear what Staten Island sound like? That's them right there.
That's them right there. Yep, absolutely, definitely. And that copy I just shown is sold out. But if y'all vinyl heads like myself, you go to Apple Dizzle's website. They got the vinyl and they got a newer copy of the cassette version as well. Y'all definitely go check that out. I'll go throw that in the links later on in the comments.
Yeah.
Now, the debut, Smoking Boots.
Yes, sir.
How long has it been in the making? Because I know what was the track? JBDMI. I remember that one for a minute now.
Yeah, man. Smoking Boots is it's been in the making for a minute. I mean, you know, I hadn't dropped the project since 2013. I released a project back then called Doctor Patient Relations EP. I would just, a lot of years of just growing up and going through life, not really doing music, but always still consistently doing music. And I was just like, yo, what am I doing? Like, I need to, I gotta drop one project at least. And I got way more. I got way more material. It was just, I never really took the time to sit down and say, yo, I want to choose these said songs for a project. I was like, I owe that for my day ones and the people that have been supporting me and just keep tapping in and always asking, when am I dropping things, even if I'm not dropping something. I just had to sit down with my guy Wavy Bagels and we just chopped it up and made that happen.
Yes, shout out Wavy Bagels, man, doing his thing.
Yo, definitely. Think he in Cali right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, dope.
Got some shows out there. Word.
And where does the name come from? Smoking Boots.
Smoking Boots. It just basically started with like the concept, like, you know, smoking a rapper out of his boots, or just completely eviscerating the track, or whatever the case is. And we just kind of ran through a bunch of different concepts. Myself, my social media person, shout out to Amalia Nunez of Malnoon Media. Shout out to my guy Alex Antigua Films for Grim. He shoots most of my videos. Any of my last videos that y'all saw, my man shot those. But yeah, we were just sitting there taking that name, and we came up with different concepts. It developed into so many different things, and then it finally, we was like, yo, we found the artist that worked perfectly. Gave him an idea. He kind of ran with the Hey Arnold concept. And yeah, that's what the cover came from, and that's what the title means.
There you go.
Smoking in motherfucking boots.
You mentioned Maya. Shout out Maya. She's also tuning in right now.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Amalia. We here.
Who's that?
Shout out to Jim Maris. Yes, shout
There
out
you
to
go.
her. Shout out to her. Shout out to you. You already know. Oh man.
Oh, man. If you don't mind, play a brief moment of what's the joint? Interior Decorator.
You want to play it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. No doubt.
All right, cool.
Hey yo, stroke of death, brushing with fate. That's how I paint, it's all water based. Moving the bristle across your face. Semi-close taste with a different type of sheen to hit the scene. Splash you like a car through a puddle, this trouble at it seems. Got a head of steam, put you underneath the mezzanine. For deaded cream, you dead it over D's. They couldn't find no leads. Back to us, I'd have did it on the arm like tattooers. For the free like the red, white, and blue. Flag fluids, now you lack fluids. Pushing past the overkill, you know the drill. Black and Decker, check them, tighten up your screws of fume chill. Hella buckets on the spill, we cleaners making messes. Keep the message going postal. Keenan wins when he stepped in. Make a cameo appearance in your crib without the clearance. Bless your walls with some new hues without waking your parents. Lay the plastic, but it's spotted on the fabrics of the mattress. Now you dream together, cuddle with the horse head, y'all can sleep forever. Do you need a coat? Bet you I be outside even when it's cold. Rough smell, brushing with the strokes. Splattering the pallet, Jackson pallet, get you home. Ass high, killing what they know. Only cost a dime for that time, get you gone. Put you up out of there. And I'm just painting houses. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, if y'all want to go check the rest of that, I'm definitely go to SickInTheHead's YouTube. Go see it on there, and I'm gonna also put that link in the comments.
Y'all go check that out. Let me know what y'all think.
Definitely. Now, speaking as being an introvert, how does it feel when you're being filmed for the music videos?
It's like a combination of feelings. I mean, there's a comfort, there's an anxiety, there's a sense of I know what I'm doing. There's that sense of do I know what I'm doing? Do I look do I look like I'm bugging out? Like it's just it's always a conflict of feelings. It's the same thing getting on stage. It's like I love performing, but it's like damn, I got to get out and go perform. I got to be around all these different people and all these different energies. And 9 times out of 10, when I go and do it, I feel better. I enjoy it, but it's always that.
It's the build up to getting out there, right?
That internal conflict.
Yeah, I feel you.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's crazy because I went to McKee and I ended up being in a leadership class. So I ended up, I think it was my sophomore year. I went to this leadership seminar over at Adelphi University in Long Island for the weekend, and we had to, do our public speaking, and I still get the same jitters to this day, the same way, like that build up, like, and then once you up there and you speaking, everything just feels normal, feel comfortable again.
That's a fact. It never really goes away. You just kind of learn to get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just means you care. Word.
The Smoking Boots track.
Mm-hmm.
You just came with it on that one. It's always important that first track be that defining track to keep you engaged for the whole album, and you definitely did that with this one.
I appreciate it. Yeah, just felt like I had to hit him out the gate, especially for that debut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
And we mentioned Wavy Bagels, who did the majority of the production,
Mm-hmm.
but you also had the producer from Russia, St. Petersburg. What's the name? Al Wonder.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Al Wonder.
He's been doing this thing recently too.
Yeah, if y'all don't know Al Wonder, his production, definitely go and check him out. Just it's spelled exactly how it sounds, Al Wonder.
How'd you link up with him? He reached out to you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got in contact with him. I want to say through Intel. I'm pretty sure that's how that connection came. I could be wrong, but pretty sure that's how it lined up.
All right.
Shout out to my guy.
Yeah, I hope y'all do some more work together too.
Oh, definitely. Got some things planned.
There you go. Nice. And you also had some more of the hometown on there with Aunt McQueen.
Mm-hmm. So Aunt McQueen, shout out to Aunt McQueen. That's the guy that did. So Aunt McQueen did 10 Below. If y'all don't know, Aunt McQueen did 10 Below. Al Wonder did Resonate. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody besides Wavy Bagels. Wavy Bagels did the rest. I think those was the only other two producers on there. But yeah. And they provided the perfect soundscape for me to skate on. Definitely.
Indeed. Ooh, got someone else tuning in.
Films for Grim. My man Alex, yo.
Peace. Man. When you once you finally put together all the tracks for Smoking Boots, aside from that initial track being the defining one to keep the fans, the supporters, the listeners engaged, how did the sequence come to be? Because that's also important.
Yeah, that I definitely owe a lot of that to Wavy Bagels. Because like I said, it was pretty much out of a bunch of songs that I had, I was just like, yo, let me just sit down, put something together. Let me put a project together, something that's solid, something that people was going to mess with. A lot of times I was overthinking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, but it's my debut. It's like, yo, people just want to hear music. Like, some people was going to be happy. Yeah, it's my debut. Cool. But people just want to hear good music. They just want to hear what I've been doing, what I've been cooking up all of these years. And I dropped joints here and there. I did a project with Intel that we dropped sometime late last year. And yeah, I was like, it was about time that I just put my own joint out. So I sat there, got in the studio with Bagels. It's like, yo, I want to choose these songs, but let's figure out how to weave everything together. And he did exactly that. My man has a great ear, great ears.
Definitely like the chemistry with the two of y'all, and being that I've heard it in the past as well. So definitely, when I saw that he did majority of the production, I was like looking forward to hearing see what else y'all did together, knowing from what y'all did in the past.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my brother.
And on the features, Intel, Jamil
So,
Honesty, Lungs.
yes, sir. Them guys right there. Guess you want to know how those came together. Yeah, well, like I said, these are though all of the joints I kind of had in the stash. So, at probably some point after I had did the Ferry Boat Kids song on a Harper Kids album with Jamil Honesty and Squeegee O, I just knew I needed something with him on it now. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how that joint came out. I think he gave the verse back in like 2 days. I could be wrong, but it was something super quick. You know what I'm saying? Just wrote that shit, wrote that shit and sent it in. Lungs, that took a little while, which I'm the same way. Sometimes some people they still waiting on verses. it just be like that. But my guy Lungs, mad cool, always been supportive. We just I sat down. I'm saying it wrong. A kind of dope short story about that particular song. I had the drums. I wanted to sample that shit for years. The drums on that beat. I won't say the movie that it's from, but if you know, you know. I was like, yo, I want to make a beat out of this. I don't know what to do. I gave it to Bagels. He had a sample that he was sitting on for like a week, and them joints just went together. Then boom, I sent it to my guy Lungs. Took a little bit of time. He sent it back to me. Boom, that was done. And the other feature is, who else did I say? I forgot. It's him.
Oh, Intel.
Oh yeah, my guy Intel. You know that song, "Evil Up Top." That song has been in the stash for a minute, probably since 20. I want to say 2016, something like that. Yeah, that song is been around for a minute. Yeah, I literally it's funny because I brought Intel to the studio one day, and we was on the train on the way, and I was like, "Yo, you want to jump on this song?" And he wrote that shit on the train on the way up to the studio, on the A train, on the way up uptown and shit.
Dope. That's dope.
Up to Inwood, word.
What was the very first track you recorded for this album?
Shit, it would probably be that. I mean, I didn't know that it was going to be called Smoking Boots. I definitely didn't have a title back when when we did Evil Up Top. But that's probably the oldest song that I got on there. What song after that probably, or what song that matter of fact, I don't even think I came up with a title until I finally had all of the songs together and I was figuring out what to call it. But yeah, Evil Up Top is definitely the first one.
Okay. Now, are you the type to write on the spot the way Intel did on the train?
Definitely. You know, it can come out at different speeds. It depends like where I'm at, with what's going on. I don't really like being in studios that got 90 people in it, and it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of chaos. Like, if it's a cool environment, I'm not necessarily against it because I do like being around creative energy.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I kind of got to go into my corner, you know, go out to where there's not too much noise and kind of just sit there and write in order to get my thoughts out.
Dope.
Yeah.
The sorry, I hate when I do that. The joint that you was talking about that INS was mentioning before, the what?
Was it Golden Meat Hooks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you first did that, were you around what time was that? That's about
when we that had to be I want to say at the beginning of 2021.
okay.
I might be wrong, but I think it was at the beginning of 2021. Yeah, he came in the studio that day, chopped it up for like 3 hours. He ain't write his verse and just dipped, which would have been cool if he did that. But he sat down, he chopped it up with us for like 3 hours, just asked him a bunch of questions, his opinions on shit. And yeah, I think I probably wrote my verse maybe like a week or so afterwards. But funny thing about that, so this is how Intel alley-ooped that song, or alley-oop got me on that song. So we in the stew, and Deck is Intel is like, I think he was like, you fuck with the song. He's like, yeah, I like it and all that. He was like, do you mind if I put anybody else on it? He was like, nah, go ahead, do your thing. He's like, all right, if that's the case, I'm gonna throw it to my man SITH. And Deck said something almost verbatim. He was like, he said something like, I think he said, I know y'all going to kill me on this song, but remember, I'm still an OG. Some shit like that. And I was like, yeah. I was like, no doubt. Listen, hey, I didn't even think I was going to get on that. So I didn't even know. Listen, I knew that they was going to do a song that day. I didn't know I was going to get on it. So I was just looking forward to the opportunity. And, he definitely handed it down. Appreciate it. Shout out to Deck.
That's dope. Have you been still dabbling in production? Because I remember a track you did about a decade ago, or at least on SoundCloud, it was about a decade ago. Was it Black Leopard?
Yes, sir. That's the one. It's funny you asked that. I've been kind of like dragging my feet, getting back into it for the past few years. Got a whole machine over here that I haven't used yet. But recently I started using, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the app Koala.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the producer homies been using that. And shout out to my guy Benji Socrates. We was in the studio with Bagels, and he sat there and broke down the whole app. It was just like, I told him, I was like, I don't know if he thought I was joking, but I was like, yo, you should consider doing like tutorial videos for Koala. You might get a sponsorship or something like that.
True. That's very true.
He's super knowledgeable. The way he conveyed it to me made me honestly want to sit there and download the app. And I knew a few people that was using it beforehand, but the way he broke it down, I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit here and try to mess around with it. I probably watched 2 tutorials that was like 10 minutes a piece, and I started cooking up almost instantly. So you definitely hear something from me soon.
Okay. Dope. Shout out J57 Brown Bag All Stars. He's the one that put me onto Koala.
Yeah, shout out to J57.
And shout out Benji. Benji, I didn't forget. We still gotta link up. He definitely said he wanted to come through on the HHDG Media Podcast. So
shout out to Benji, man. We got some other things in the works as well. Me and Benji got some joints in the stash.
Nice.
And Bagels, all of us together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Films for Grimm. He said, I keep telling him he got to bring back Black Leopard.
Yeah, that I keep telling you, bro. It's like I don't have that. I don't have the files for that song no more. So it's like I could re-record it, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like the magic was in the moment.
It won't be the same.
Yeah. I don't want to kill it. That's just something in the stash people got to go back and listen to if they want to hear it.
Well, I definitely put that link up in the comments.
Yeah, y'all go check that out, man. That was quite the average. Oh, you know what? You actually made me think. So how that song came out? I sat there, I cooked it, like I made the beat real quick. Wrote the rhyme in the studio. And I was kind of deciding what to do with it. I remember I went to NY Oil crib one day, and no matter of fact, I didn't even go to his crib that day. I think I just sent it to him, and he was, he was like, and he was texting me and shit, or Facebook Messenger, whatever it was. He was like, "Nigga, put this shit out right now, right the." I was like, oh, all right, bet. Put that joint out, and yeah, it took off. Yeah, man.
Gotta listen to OG on something like that.
Hell yeah, sweat. It's like, you think so? Cool. I'm gonna drop it.
That's dope. Are you set to drop any more visuals off Smoking Boots?
Definitely. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm seeing what people are liking, what they fucking with heavy.
Mhm.
I might end up doing like a what do you call it? Like a poll or something like that, just to be 100% sure, just to see what people want to tap in with. But yeah, I got some visuals in the works for y'all. My guy films for Grimm. He's definitely a big part when it comes to, I mean, obviously shooting the visuals, but coming up with a lot of the ideas for the things that I do, because I like having something different, man. I like, the traditional videos are cool, and you might see something that's, very basic for me, but I like putting minds together and just coming up with something that I probably would have never thought of on my own.
I gotta bring it up. It's still one of my favorite joints, the King of New York joint.
Oh shit! Almost forgot about that. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar, King of New York, freestyle. Like a bunch of people was what was that? That's when he did the what's that joint called? That joint with Jay Electronica
And Big Sean, right?
Big Sean.
Yep.
We did that name dropping verse that was naming everybody and shit. And all of a sudden, everybody went to come out with a Kendrick Lamar diss. It's like, oh, we killed. I killed Kendrick. This rapper killed Kendrick. It's like nobody killed Kendrick, bro. Everybody, including myself, just helped to promote son. And a lot of people felt like, or he was trying to like diss New York and trying to come at New York. And I'm like, nah. If you listen to what he's saying, if you hear my response, you'll hear me explaining this. But he was basically slickly using King of New York, Frank White, the movie, referencing Biggie, and referencing himself as such. But he knew people was going to take it and kind of run with it. And plus, he's sitting there name dropping everybody in the industry. So it just, everybody he helped to promote him. He did it in an intelligent way, and that's that.
Dope. Now, you got to tell us about the name, because a lot of people, they're gonna see Sith, they automatically gonna think Star Wars. So
Right. So yes, I know a lot of people who's going to think Star Wars. No, I'm not. I don't have nothing against Star Wars. I didn't grow up watching it, but it just kind of literally the name. This is simple as I was walking to the store one day when I was younger. I was trying to think of a rap name. My brother gave me a name at that time, which I ain't gonna say what it was because it's kind of funny. But I was walking to the store one day and it was just like SITH, Sick in the Head. Oh, that's kind of hard. I should go stick with that, and that's pretty much been my name ever since.
Mhm.
And then I also, when we used to do the PEMG ciphers back in the days, I always tried to make sure that when I came out with a verse, I would just, I would spit whatever could catch the air at the moment. Like how we were saying, like, writing bars with double and triple entendres and stuff like that. I didn't really do that in the ciphers because I'm like, people ain't really got time to think about what I'm saying right then and there. They just want to hear things that's shocking. That's I can't believe he said that type of shit. So yeah, I forgot how that relates to the question, but I hope that it did.
It did. Now this is a Staten Island only type of thing.
Yeah.
You see how the whole St. George area is now. What do you miss about back in the day?
What do I miss about back in the day? Man, I think it's probably just the energy of the time. I mean, when I was growing up, that's when the Wu was like right in a, I guess you could say, prime or whatever the case
Mm-hmm.
is. So I didn't know the island before the Wu. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, especially having my brother kind of be like a, I guess like an indirect teacher of hip hop shit. Um, the tapes that he would have, having a purple tape, having 36 chambers and things like that. I just, I missed that time period, and for a lot of us, you know, that was that time period and back in the days where, um, a lot of our family members, that a lot of our family members were still, hanging out and throwing events, and I was going to see my cousins. So all of that kind of correlated with back then. But I would definitely say just the energy, because you never realize the time that you in up until you out of it and it's gone past, and you like, yo, this is crazy.
What keeps you humble?
Uh, a few things. Besides just me trying to check myself as many times as I can, the people around me. My girl, shout out to Jamarish. She commented earlier. Just generally the people that I have around me. You know what I'm saying? I would say I might think that I'm going through something, and I am going through something. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when I sit there and chop it up with my friends that might be going through something that's comparatively way worse, it'll humble me about certain situations. I appreciate being humble. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes there's a place not to be humble. I definitely had to realize that growing up. Sometimes it's like, nah, like, flex a little bit of muscle, let somebody know that it's a space and time for everything. But for the most part, myself and the people around me, definitely.
And that brings me to the last track,
Yeah.
Resonate.
Mm, yeah.
Perfect way to end the album.
Yeah, I love that beat. Shout out to Al Wonder. Shout out to him. That loop is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Your you know, the pandemic is a gift and a curse for a lot. Um, Being recluse helped with a lot of creativity for some people. Others, they couldn't hack it. How was your creativity during that time?
That shit was rough. I didn't know if I was going to die or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know if I was, just like a lot of us. A lot of people lost family members. My condolences to anybody that did. But we all know somebody that passed from that time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of that time, when I was creative, I tried to link up with my brother Intel at the studio. Just chop it up with him, just kind of be around that energy, and then hop on songs here and there. Yeah, it was definitely rough. It was definitely, especially when we had to stay in the house, and it was like, what is this? Are they going to be tanks rolling around the street? It's just
Right.
you never
Mm-hmm.
you. It was a crazy time to be in. I mean, it's funny that we could sit here and kind of just look at it as a time, even though technically the pandemic is still happening, but it was nothing like it. Um, but I did get some creativity out. Definitely not as much as I could have, but I got doses here and there.
Dope. And are we gonna see Sick in the Head performing anytime soon?
Yes. No dates yet, but you definitely will see me performing sometime soon. I got some things planned in the next few months that I think the people really gonna like. I don't want to make no announcements too soon and then shit fall apart. You know how that go.
Gotcha. All good. So all around, how you feeling about the response everyone's getting from the album?
Fucking great, man. Like it's pretty much the response is pretty much what I expected, man. Like, it just me learning that just believe in yourself. Just listen to your intuition and just go for it, because I was, like I said, I started overthinking it, and I'm basically sitting like, I don't know, I don't want it to be weak. What if people don't like this? What if people don't like that? It's like, at a minimum, I think about a lot of the rappers that I don't particularly care for. I ain't gonna mention no names because ain't no point in doing that. But just people that might not be my cup of tea that other people might love. And I'm like, if I can look at theirs and be like, maybe my shit might be a little bit better than that. It's like, all right, one, show improve. Two, that's your base level. You know that you could create. If you feel like you could create something doper than that, then you should be putting that out there into the universe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of just critiquing.
Today is June 7th. Smoking Boots dropped on the 24th, so it's officially been 2 weeks now.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put the album link in the comments for those that haven't heard it. For those that have heard it, like myself, definitely go check it out. Sick in the Head is continuously showing what it is to push your pen game.
Absolutely, man.
Track on repeat. Give a glimpse of his life. The imagery that he puts out there is always there. You can close your eyes and just you see everything that he's talking about, and that's the type of lyricist that I appreciate. You given a complete package, and you also know how to select production, which is vital. I don't care what anybody says.
Thank you. I'm definitely a somewhat of a beat fanatic. I think it was a period of time in my life where I wasn't even really listening to rappers like that. I was just listening to beats, and I had to start listening to rappers again. Like, I need to hear what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to all the dope producers I know as well. I think a lot of rappers, especially nowadays, you hear cases of rappers not paying for beats and not giving credit and all this types of stuff. And it's like, without the producers, there's no show. It's just we freestyling. Right. We on the corner rapping. Like, stop playing and give these people their credit. You got people out here that, they'll give you fire production for free just for the chance of working with you, whether they think you dope, whether they think, it might help them get bigger. And just to give somebody a little bit of credit don't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it helped move the culture forward.
Yeah.
None of us is bigger than the culture, man.
There you go. Well said, man. Sick in the Head. Now born. Staten Island, Shaolin, new Shaolin. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. And once again, everyone, go support Smoking Boots. Floor is yours. Give shout outs.
Yo, shout out to everybody listening, everybody that tuned in. Shout out to all my people in Staten Island and the whole 5 boroughs and the whole United States and all of that. If y'all don't see the links at the bottom, follow me on social media, SickInTheHead 92. That's Instagram. My Twitter might be it's either DEF Sick 92 or SickInTheHead 92, one or the other. But check the hyper follow. You'll be able to find me at all my pages, and let me know what y'all think, man. I really want to know. Follow me, hit me up, inbox. Let me know what y'all think. What's your favorite joint? Because that's going to dictate what I do going forward.
Dope, man. Appreciate the time and continue support.
Likewise, my brother. I appreciate you always tapping in and always being in big supporter, just dope ass hip hop, and especially Staten Island artists. Because again, a lot of people don't know, and you helping to spread that awareness, and we need that at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So helpful.
Appreciate that. Yep. On behalf of HHDG Media, we're gonna say peace.
Peace.